everybody talks about marriage and they talk about the main reasons why people have issues in their marriage, and they always reference financial stress and communication, stress and communication, finances, communication. But I have an unpopular opinion. I feel like, especially the divorce rate is what, about 40% in the US, um, which is better than it used to be, I suppose, because it was about 50% for a long time. And 60% of people that remarry end up divorced again, which means whatever issues they had in that first marriage, it was never corrected. And so in this new age, I feel like there are so many other reasons why we end up in unhappy marriages beyond those two things. There's always unmet expectations, which is also a big one. And in my opinion, the biggest is more, how do I put it? Emotional, lack of emotional support, lack of emotional intimacy. Because most times, people can have this physical intimacy, they can have all of these amazing physical relationship, but most times the reason why divorces happen within that early stage of marriage, we're talking about average is about 8 years, right? It's because we have little babies. And I often feel like it's a lonely journey when you have little babies. You know, nobody really gets you. If if you're a stay-at-home mom, I'm not a stay-at-home mom, but I'm home a lot of times with the kids, but I feel so disconnected from everybody else. And my husband is gone most of the time. He's out working. By the time he gets home, he's tired. He doesn't want to hear about my, I had a long day today because the kids won't let me have a break. You know what I mean? So there's a lack of that intimacy because you don't get an opportunity to just sit down and talk about how you all are feeling. He's dealing with his own challenges and you're dealing with your own challenges. And I also feel like in this new age, we are so caught up with um, meeting goals. Goals, goals, goals. Women have their own list of goals, men have their own list of goals, and the goals don't align. You know, we're not working towards the same thing. We're doing different things. And when you have so many options, you can connect with your ex easy. You can connect with all these past flings easy. And you start to think that your current partner is not meeting your needs. And I feel like, the reason why women keep asking for divorce, that's why I said I have an unpopular view, is I think women have forgotten the role of women. I feel like everything now is domestic abuse, domestic violence. And I'm sorry, I'm not saying that if your husband is beating you every day, you should just stay in the marriage, or emotionally abusive, you should stay in the marriage. But I think that what we call gaslighting, toxic masculinity, you know, hostile environment are just too extreme. Like, women are just so ready to leave a marriage for the smallest things. Oh, he doesn't remember my birthday. He doesn't care about my needs. I'm leaving. Oh, um, I don't know. He didn't buy me flowers on Valentine's Day. He's not a romantic partner. I'm leaving. So we have all these unrealistic expectations of men, and you want him to sit down and chit chat with you all day, or you want him to be emotionally available in the way that a woman is emotionally available. I think that's what girlfriends are for. Because sometimes we get out of focusing on, this is a man should be a man, and if I need someone to vent to and talk to for 5 hours, I should call my girlfriends. And because now we're so secluded, like we don't have a community, we don't have anybody. Your only girlfriend is your husband. Your only partner is your husband. Your only friend, your therapist, your everything. And it's the same for the women, right? Like your husband comes to you and dumps everything, and you go to him and dump everything. And now you're sick of each other because you're using each other for your emotional release. And if that person is not available, then you grow apart. Oh, we grew apart. We don't love each other anymore. I'm like, what does that even mean? I really have a problem. Like, what does that even mean? We grew apart and we don't love each other anymore. What is we grew apart and we don't love each other anymore? Because I always go back and I think about my grandmother. She was married for almost 70 years. You know, they did what they had to do. I'm not saying that we should just stay in relationships for the sake of staying in a relationship if there's no connection. But what got you together in the first place? And who is defining what romance is today? Who is defining what love is? Who is defining what abuse is? And are we going too far? And are women becoming more like men and really just expecting a partner? And we like to use the word partner, and I'm totally fine with it. I use it too. But when we think of our husbands as just our partners, where does that role of the male versus the female come into play? Do Are we losing touch with our femininity? And for me, being feminine is not just about you wear makeup and you wear dresses. It's that spiritual, divine presence, you know, understanding that the man has a place and a leadership role in the household. And maybe we've killed that so much in men that now we have men that are no longer interested in being men. They're so complacent. Like you have women busy with babies and still working full time and taking care of everything. And they're the ones that manage the budget. They're the ones that manage the household. They're the ones that do all the cooking and the cleaning. And the man is just there. Oh, he just plays video games. Why? And now you're exhausted. You know, I'm debunking this idea of strong black woman. I hate it. I'm not anybody's strong black woman for that purpose only. I am no longer co signing anything that says I'm strong because that just relieves everybody from the responsibility of supporting and nurturing us as women. And we, instead of taking on that back seat and relaxing and saying, okay, let me let him lead, and putting him in that position that expects him to lead. And now he feels everybody is depending on me. I got to go out there and make something happen. We say, oh, he's a deadbeat, so I got to go out and do it. So you're out there doing the job of the woman and the job of the man. Of course, you're exhausted and you'd rather just do it by yourself because what's the point of having him there if he's not helpful? We have to stop creating the environment. We need to trust the divine um, assignments. We are here, each has a role and each has a purpose. And we need to stop stepping in to be the man in the relationship and now creating these dysfunctions. Because I consider it dysfunctional. You know, men being so feminine is dysfunctional, women being so masculine is dysfunctional. A woman going to work full time and coming home at night and cooking dinner and taking care of the kids is dysfunctional. You know, let's go back to the way things used to be. And I feel like divorce rates will drop. I really do feel like relationship will be better. And don't expect your husband to rub your back, go to work, come back, and sit there and listen to you talk for 3 hours. I do it. Don't get me wrong. I do. My husband will tell you I do. You know, he has to listen to you and then he has to help you take care of the kids because now you're divvying up the home responsibility. He has to do everything in the house. And then he also has to um, emotionally satisfy you. If we go back to the roles as they used to be, and the woman is home mostly and supportive of the family, and she understands that you need to be a partner to your husband in terms of helping and lending support, and you encourage him, you push him, and you give him the room to lead, and he goes out there and goes to work, and you're at home with the kids, then everybody's in their divine purpose. So he's doing what he needs to do to support you, and you're doing what you need to do to support him. And you are focused on the kids. Yes, you get a break here and there, which is fine, but we're not raising our children. And now we have depressed kids, we have suicide rate that is out the wazoo. Things are just displaced. And I think it's because society has put women in places that force them to be more masculine in their roles. And I don't blame women for doing what they have to do, but I also see women that have the opportunity not to do that, that still would rather do that. I don't mind if you say, okay, let me do something part time because I want to have my own money. If I want to buy my makeup, I don't want my husband to tell me you can't or what have you. But if you are really both in your roles, that will never even be an issue. It will never come up, because the money is in the same pot. And you shouldn't have to explain to your spouse that I needed to go to Sephora. Everything should be able to work harmoniously. The reason we have so much issues is because people are not playing their roles. And our grandparents did not just stay married, because that's the narrative I keep hearing. Oh, the only reason why they stay married, they were all unhappy. Like, you can't tell me for millennia everybody was unhappy except for the men, because the women were all abused and they were all living a horrible life. And now we've seen the light and we're helping them see it too. It makes no sense to me. So if you have any unpopular view, or if you feel like marriages are challenging and social media is lying, because you have people on social media looking like goals, but they're fighting, they don't get along, they have different bedrooms, they haven't, you see all these celebrities, their marriage looks so perfect, and next week they're filing divorce. Let's stop lying on social media about how wonderful our marriages are, and start focusing on really building family values. And we should take pride in being home and raising our children. And we should take pride in being the women in our relationships. There's something wrong with all women choosing divorce and choosing to just raise these kids by themselves. I think there's something fundamentally wrong with that. And that's probably just me. What are your thoughts? Do you think we're heading in the wrong trajectory? Or is this somehow making sense? Because at this rate, what's the point of marriage, really, if you're just going to end up divorced a couple of years later? Are we doing something wrong? Is this just the men that need to go fix themselves? Or can we take responsibility as women that maybe we're becoming too demanding, like too high expectations? We want him to be rich, powerful, famous, romantic. Like, if you want a rich husband, don't expect him to be at home spending hours having dinner with you. He's going to be working. If you want him to be out working, then you have to sacrifice. And if you want to have a man that is 6 foot tall, he's probably oh, 500 other women are looking at him. Like, something has got to give. What are we doing wrong? And we cannot just say the men are the problem. There's something we as women have to take responsibility for and change. What do you think?